I tell you that? Because that's what you call cosmogenealogy. I guess if you're a whatever, but the point is that you know, this is more than just food that you buy at the store, right? It says spiritual meaning. It's like the salmon out here, right? It's like us and our sturgeon, our wild rice. These are sacred foods. These aren't just things you grow, right? And so they kept they grew that, and it's their sacred foods, and some of them take off and head to Nebraska, and they become the Pawnees, and they did pretty good. They lived pretty good down there, and then they lived good when the settlers came too. That's what they said, they lived well with the settlers. And then one day the federal government came in. The federal government always messes things up. The federal government forced the removal of the Pawnees to Oklahoma. And the Pawnees did not want to go, but they forced them by gunpoint, 3 separate removals. And when they removed, those people, many of them perished. They didn't make it. And then they got there to their land in Oklahoma, and they grieved the loss of their land. They grieved the loss of their relatives. And then they grieved the loss of their food, because none of their crops would grow. And so for many years, they mourned this. They kept trying to grow them, but they wouldn't grow. And then one day, this woman named Ronnie O'Brien calls from the Archway Museum in Kearney, Nebraska, the place where the Pawnees had lived. And she calls the Pawnee tribal offices, and she says, "I'd like to see if we could grow some of your varieties, you know, here in our museum." And the Pawnee said, "We don't have much, you know, but talk to Deb Echohawk." That's who gave me permission to tell this story. Said, "Talk to Deb Echohawk, and Deb will see if we have anything." And Deb said, "We don't have much, but we'll talk about it." And they deliberated, the Pawnee elders, if they should release their last precious seeds. That's what you're talking about. Their most precious seeds. And I said, "You know, let's send some." And so they sent some of their seeds back, and you know what happened is their seeds flourished. They flourished. And what Deb told me is that the seeds remembered the land they came from. And I always think about that. And so this relationship has continued with the Pawnee and the ranchers and farmers in Kearney, Nebraska. And today a lot of those people who live there, they grow those varieties for those Pawnees. And a couple years ago they had Welcome Home Pawnee Days. And 150 Pawnee came up from Oklahoma. 8,000 people came out to see them. And then they had, a few years ago, our organization Honor the Earth helped fund the Pawnee youth to go up and be with those farmers. And they grew together. And so I like telling that story because it places us someplace. Because corn is something that only grows with humans. All those varieties only existed because of the love of human farmers, of humans. And we have a part in that. And I also like to tell that story because it is about redemption. You know, you can fix things, but you gotta, you know, you can fix things and make things better. So that is one of the reasons I grow corn, is because corn has a story. And it is beautiful, and it is, you know, it is from our area. Next one. This is, when I first grew our corn, I thought I failed because it was short. I was like, oh no, I failed. It turns out that our corn is frost resistant, drought resistant, and wind resistant. So when the big storms come through, Monsanto's crops fall over, but ours don't.